In a shocking twist, chapter 260 of JJK seemingly brings back our beloved Gojo. Is this Gojo in the flesh, or is it just some ghost haunting Sukuna in his final moments? Today, I want to discuss what the possibilities lie in this mysterious return. As Toto and Yuji duke it out with Sukuna, Yuji hits Sukuna with another Black Flash after a fake out from Toto. This is very similar to how they faked out Mahito in Shibuya, and Yuji begins to dig into Sukuna's stomach. While this is happening, Sukuna is seemingly frozen in shock or maybe even fear. Sukuna is attempting to open his domain when he notices a silhouette out of the corner of his eye. The narrator says Sukuna has witnessed him, the strongest ghost who Sukuna killed by his own hands, and those eyes cannot be mistaken. In my eyes, there's no doubt that this is Gojo. I don't think Sukuna would have reacted in this way to any other character in the verse. As much as I want this to be Gojo in the flesh, I think that's might be slightly misleading to the reader. Yuji seemingly does not notice Gojo, and it does explicitly state that Sukuna saw it. There is a chance that this is Gojo in the flesh. We have seen him survive seemingly unsurvivable attacks in the past, aka when Toji stabbed him in the neck and multiple times. That would have killed any other character. If the sorcerers have moved his body quickly enough, Shoko may have been able to repair Gojo and return him to the battle. But again, even though this is super hype and I want to cope really bad, I don't think that this is Gojo alive in the flesh. I do believe that this is a vision Sukuna is receiving on death's door. There's no doubt that he's close to being defeated, and Yuji and Toto have a 100% success rate when jumping someone, so I think he's pretty close to being defeated, and he does seem weaker than normal right now. I do think that this can be compared to when Gojo was in the airport and kind of saw Geto and other people. This is probably just some sort of vision that Sukuna is seeing, and it could just also be Gojo kind of showing himself one last time, showing Sukuna that these are his students and, they're finishing the job that he started. I think that if Gege were to bring Gojo back in the flesh, he'd probably have him have a more triumphant return. Of course, we haven't really seen fully what this is yet, but he is pretty obscured and hidden from sight, and it's not obvious what he's doing here. One absolutely wild theory that I've believed for some time now is that Kenjaku might return in the body of Gojo. Many complain that Kenjaku's death felt premature, especially after being alive for 1,000 years, just to be killed off from a bush. Imagine that Kenjaku had planned for the death of Gojo by Sukuna's hands, only for the heroes to believe he was dead, and then hijacking Gojo's body and becoming the strongest sorcerer indisputably. Sukuna is weak enough to where if Gojo had returned, he is undoubtedly the strongest sorcerer right now, and he's just simply not strong enough to defeat Gojo, making the scene even more important. Imagine Kenjaku returns in the body of Gojo, has all of his powers, has the six eyes and the limitless. Nobody can defeat him, which puts the story in an interesting spot and also helps Kenjaku with his plan. I mean, the one thing he wanted to see was the merger taking place, since that was his entire goal all along. And if he is the strongest sorcerer, he can ensure that happens. I think an insane reveal for this would have Gojo returning only to reveal the stitches on his forehead, maybe even having him kill off Sukuna right here and then. It would feel a little anticlimactic, but imagine how crazy that would be. They're fighting him for so many chapters only for him to just be eliminated by Kenjaku, who is back as the main villain again. This would undoubtedly piss off untold amounts of people, and I don't blame them, but I think that this twist kind of makes sense and would also be crazy. Gojo fans, of course, would hate this, and again, I can't blame you. It would mean Gojo's dead for good. He's gone, and now his body is just being used for whatever plans Kenjaku has next. And of course, the killing of Sukuna here would also eliminate Megami, which I think is kind of a big part of the story that needs to be resolved. Is either Megami needs to be taken out of Sukuna, or Sukuna needs to eliminate Megami, and we need confirmation of that. So I don't think it would work exactly like that. So at the end of the day, I personally think that this is probably just some sort of vision that Sukuna is seeing, maybe even just Gojo returning as a vision one last time to kind of give him the middle finger. But I don't believe he's coming back as much as I want him to. His death was pretty meaningful, even though it was quick and abrupt and off screen, and you could list 1,000 problems you have with it, but I don't think he's back in the flesh. Although, again, next week we could see he's just back. There's no break, so it's less than a week away when we hopefully see more unless Gege decides to switch back to Hikari and Urume, which I feel like every time there's a big plot point, I kind of expect that to happen, and it doesn't really happen. As for the Kenjaku theory, I kind of think it's a cool theory, but I completely understand if people hate it, and I would see the fans just having a complete meltdown if that happened. So I don't know if Gege has the balls to do that. But in my opinion, it would be pretty cool. It would be really tragic and just give like that much more of a villain to they have to fight. They have to kill their sensei, you know. It's kind of tragic, it's kind of cool at the same time. I'm just kind of murmuring here about what I think, but I don't know what to think about this. This is kind of one of the crazier reveals we've had in the manga, it feels like. And of course the community went crazy, but we don't know what to expect. And that's kind of the cool part about this, is all the speculation that's going to go down and everybody kind of talking about this moment, because we really don't know what's going to happen with it. But tell me what you guys think below. What do you think this moment means? What does this mean for the future of the manga? I'm really excited for next week to see what comes of this. But if you enjoyed, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.